Yeah, this is my first ride, bashing myself up and breaking my wrist. For this month's adventure, I'd head out on my high-revving, wheel-spinning dual super sport adventure bike as I blow off some cobwebs after a few months out of the saddle on a weekend of riding dusty desert trails with a buddy. I'm just getting back into the swing of things. So this is my first ride since bashing myself up and breaking my wrist. And I can't wait to get back riding. This is my old girl, the CBR600 adventure bike. I love it. My CBR600 has kind of just over a period of years just formed into an adventure bike. On this side I have water and gas, so I'm always good no matter where I go. This side keeps the bike running, toolbox. This side is good for me, my clothes, my gear. Now Krieger, they do awesome luggage. I love their stuff. I've got them on this side of my CBR. Now they've just come out with some new bags. We've been working with those guys forever. So I've got to fit a new side plate and some new bags to this side of the bike. So out with the old, in with the new. I've got rid of the passenger pegs and then I fitted this Touratech loop, which is just a standard loop that fits lots of different luggage compartments. So you could put a Touratech box on here, or you could fit this, and then this fits the Krieger bags. So this Touratech loop is basically the backbone, the strength. This bar is superb. Right now I'm just loading up, but not just for me, for my riding partner. Now I'm going to go ride with the awesome Max Hazan this weekend. Not only does Max create amazing custom motorcycles, he also rides like a mother right? So we're going to go and take off to Joshua Tree and just go and enjoy things. But he has a shop in downtown LA, and downtown LA for me is a mixture of so many things. So we'll start off at his shop tomorrow and then we're going to blast off to Joshua Tree. Right now I'm packing for both of us. We're only going away for one night, so just the basics. So here is my camping cooking setup. So a little bit of herbs, spices, salt and pepper in this one, my jet boil, just the basics. I also have my trusty axe, which also has a sharp knife right here in the bottom. So I've got everything that I need basically, condensed, really small down, pack it on the bike, away we go. Let's get to it. The next morning I'd rise with the sun, gear up, and then fire my machine into life. Today I'd be on the road before the traffic. But why stay on the road when I can hit the dirt and take a shortcut? A high-revving motor and kicking up some dust was the perfect way to start the day, as I made my way across LA on the back roads, before cruising into downtown to see Max. Hello.
Hi. Good.
Oh my god, oh you still have this baby?
It actually just came back last week.
Now it's always fun to visit Max's workshop, as there's always magic to see inside. as his talented hands create unique and beautiful machines.
Is normally to have a.
I'm embarrassed to show you my bike.
I saw your Ducati.
Oh, my Honda's way worse than my Ducati.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But there's only one motorcycle I really want to see, and that's his next project, the Motus V4 land speed bike, which is fitted with a massive turbo. The craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That must be a wild ride.
Yeah.
Well, you came to me right at the beginning of this project asking about running it. Now you're running it.
Yeah,
so
I know. I had this epiphany. I'm like, I want to ride this. Like, I'm putting all this work into it. I'm not going to watch him like with this big smile on his face, you know, shoot down there at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, good. Well, after you've had a go and you've got it out of your system, let me have a spin.
Yeah.
Max went on to explain the complexity of this build. The challenge is creating a machine that can fit within the rules and yet make it as powerful and as streamlined as possible. But amazingly, a lot of this is just guesswork, and much of the development will be done in his workshop, as this is a very difficult machine to test. Due to having huge horsepower, only one brake, and a turning circle worse than a double-decker bus means you just can't test this machine anywhere. Plus, regardless of the machine, the Bonneville Salt Flats is an entity all to itself. As with all of his builds, Max is going all out, and this machine is no exception. He's also creating a very streamlined fairing that should help glide his machine through the air like a bullet. So, talking about Joshua Tree, I want to go and go camping this weekend, so you're up for going for a spin?
Yeah, I could definitely get out.
Yeah, good,
It's
good.
going to be hot.
Yeah, but we'll camp, we'll cook, we'll, I don't know, live like true hobos this weekend.
Yeah.
So let's get to
take
that.
a city boy out there.
Isn't there some dry lake bed out there as well?
Yeah. I mean, I'm open to try and test this thing anywhere. So
Yeah.
should
Well,
definitely take a look.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Man, this thing looks mint. I'm jealous. But before we take off, I grabbed a quick bite.
Downtown in LA.
Holy crap, that's some spicy chili. Yummy. Over food, we discuss our ride out of the city, and we decided on our way to the desert, we pop in and see a fantastic collection of vintage motorcycles, and to a place that also has a rather special drag bike. Here we go then. Out of the city and hit some downtown traffic, eh? Oh, it feels good to get some breeze flowing. It's a hot day. So right now we're just with Max, we're just leaving downtown Los Angeles and hitting the freeway because we're going to the garage company. And it's just a short little burst down the freeway here, so once we get into multiple lanes we should be able to get through this traffic pretty easy. Oh, it feels so good to be back on a bike after such a long time off. I've missed it. Look at this traffic now. And we can just go through the middle here nice and gently on a motorcycle. Oh, I love riding this bike. I've missed my CBR. Feels good, dude. His daily ride is actually a $2,000 beat-up Honda that hasn't got any customizing done on it whatsoever. So, just goes to show, he makes cool bikes. He doesn't always ride one himself. Motorbikes, motorbikes, motorbikes. Motorbikes on one side, but we're here for the garage company. I got some new artwork. Cool.
The hot one.
Instagram. So this is Yoshi, and he's the owner of this incredible place. Now Yoshi, how long have you had this the garage company?
Well, I'm starting in 1989, so it's
Right.
been a long time.
Yeah.
This place is dangerous.
And we just create and collect a lot of,
Yeah.
all the parts.
See the drive for the supercharger there?
Motorcycle is my hobby, and the hobby is just growing, and then too many bikes under my house, living room, less rooms, and everywhere. So my wife decided, why don't you, find some place to put on the bike.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we got a little on the Venice, about Kenny. We got a little space, and I just put on the bike, and then people come to, looks like a shop.
Yeah, yeah.
So people coming, and then just like, okay, and then. Oh. Yeah.
Now I also hear that you've got a very interesting, drag bike or a top fuel?
Well, that's just for fun.
Oh, just for fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not racing for the drag, but nobody does. So let's try make street legal.
Oh yeah?
So that's the bike.
This kind of makes Max's bike look kind of sensible. This looks nuts. And it's street legal. So just go straight to gas like an automatic, like a scooter. Ooh.
Yeah.
Launch.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
I've got a soft spot for iron heads. I don't know why. Like they leak, they don't work well, they're heavy, they don't make any power.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just does it for me. And there's one there, like the Japanese style. It's like just totally slammed, and it's got that super Japanese feel to it. But I'm like 6'2", and I just can't ride them. I always wanted to have one, but it's not going to happen.
Hey, you've got the skills to actually make it bigger for you, so no excuses.
Yeah.
Really.
Every time I try and build myself a bike, it becomes someone else's bike.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing.
There's so many bikes here. You ready to go ride?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's hit the desert, man.
Cool.
After drooling over those gorgeous vintage machines, Max and I would now hit the road and head out to Palm Springs. But with Max's machine only really suitable for the street, and with all of this barren terrain to explore, he popped into his place in the desert and swapped his wheels for some dirt-friendly ones. Now armed with a CRF and a CBR, it's time to hit those trails and get out of town before the sun goes down.
a quarter mile or so.
Okay, okay, all right, cool.
Because right here is where the houses stop.
Oh, okay.
Left turn, then it goes into the park.
Remote and with some elevation, this was the perfect place to set up for the night.
Perfect hotel. So that's your hammock. Good luck with that. But I've got a sleeping bag for you too. So
All right,
yeah,
all right,
we're
all
good,
right.
we're good, we're good.
I'm guessing there's no instructions on this either. You put a lot of faith in me.
Yeah, man. Look, I've seen the bikes you build. You can work that out. And then we've got some camping supplies in here, and my little one-man tent too. So sweet. Let's get to it. So we need to make it super secure. Right.
I think let's see how long the hammock is.
Super strong. Look at that. If my bike has to be...
No, I love this feature that you got here.
Using a baby tree as an anchor, we then arranged our bikes to lift the hammock off the floor. Soon our beds were made. Now, let's get that fire going and cook.
How'd you like your burgers cooked?
Just however you make it, man.
However I make it.
Yep.
For me, medium rare, buddy. How about
All right,
you?
that sounds good to me.
I have to say, like, since I came to America, I've fallen in love with the burger, and for so many reasons. Like, I was brought up on a farm, so I'm definitely going to love, you know, good beef and meat. And then really, it's like cheese, onions, tomatoes, man. All of my favorite ingredients is in a burger.
Yeah.
So it's really hard.
I think I've
not.
seen every one of your shows. You're just eating a massive burger.
It didn't start off to be kind
Doesn't
of
matter
like
what
that
country
thing.
you're in.
Yeah. Traveling around the world, I really enjoy like eating different foods. But man, when you're in America, it's like the burgers here are pretty damn awesome.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we got that down.
My dad used to take me racing, and we'd go to the Isle of Man and we'd go off to all kinds of places.
Yeah, I think you're being a little modest. Yeah.
Yeah, but my dad could only cook one thing, right? Which I learned this really quickly when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and it was like a fry-up. But dude,
So English right there.
it's the only thing you could ever cook.
On white toast.
Yeah,
I know.
There's only so many bacon, egg, and bean sandwiches you can muster. So like, you know, I started to, you know, understand a little bit more about food and diet and nutrition, and you know, just learning these things through racing. And people are like, you can't eat that.
Yeah, it's gonna slow you down.
Yeah.
You gotta fit in that race suit.
You're not gonna get faster. You're just gonna get slower. There we go. So right, okay, you're up first. A little bit of oil in here. There we go. Let's get
This is way more gourmet than I expected.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh dude, if I'm bringing my buddy out to go camping, I ain't gonna muck about. You know what I'm saying? I'll look after you. There we go. Oh, look at that. Come on!
I actually spent, you know, half the year split between my mom and my dad. My mom lived in North Yorkshire, and
Oh, she did?
and so when you were talking about, you know, the eggs and the beans, I know exactly, it's on white toast, and it's like the staple of every child's nutrition over there.
You want some onions? With
Oh
your
yeah, throw whatever you want on there.
Oh yeah. I'll do some proper onion rings in. Oh yeah, no,
The fire's
I'm not
going
joking.
good.
I actually don't know anybody in England that doesn't like bacon.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's some sharp cheese. Oh yeah. Check out that. There's a good bit of cheddar right there. You grew up you had an English mother.
So yeah,
Oh,
no,
so
she married an English guy when I was 3.
Okay.
Moved to North Yorkshire. And
What a part of England to
Yeah.
move to. That's awesome. England's a wonderful country, man. I mean, I grew up on a farm in Yorkshire, and luckily my dad like, I think your dad was the influence of motorcycles, right?
Yeah, so my dad was into bikes when he was younger, and then just kind of stopped one day. He had all the old cool stuff, you know, as when he was younger, he had old Ducatis and BSAs, and then one day, I think the last bike he had was a 400cc Enduro in New York City, and someone stole it in a wheelbarrow. They put it in a wheelbarrow and took it away, and when it was gone, he's like, you know what, that's it.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, but that must have, well, somehow that kind of ignited something in you, though, right?
Yeah, I think it was almost like, it was a little innate, but you know, I think you get that gearhead gene.
Yeah, yeah.
And he could answer all my questions because I was fascinated by it. And then you have a guy who could answer all those questions, and it just nurtures the flame.
Sure.
And then I went through the normal path. You know, I went to school, went to college, and it wasn't until afterwards I was riding one of these things, you know, just looking for something to do outside the city.
Yeah.
And I had a bad crash like right away. I grew up riding dirt bikes. I thought, and just hop right back on it. It was one of those things where you're having the best time ever, and the next thing you know, you open your eyes and you're just laid on the ground. You know, you can hear the bike in the distance just pinned full throttle, and you know you're in bad shape.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, I'm done with dirt bikes. And until like my wife and I, we got a place out in the desert, and I was really bored about. It's good. Yeah, I was like, you know, everyone out in the desert hikes, and they do like rock climbing, and you know, I think motorcycles are way more fun. So I bought another dirt bike, and I'm just gonna stay away from the trees now. Yeah.
What about your missus? Have you got your missus riding? Is she into it?
No, I tried. I had an old trials bike in New York City, and I bought it super cheap, and it didn't have a passenger seat, so I just kind of put a pad on the rear fender, and we hit bumps, and you could hear the knobs like that, and we were in midsummer, like you getting leg burns. I ruined motorcycles for her. Oh yeah, you know, that's not the way you're supposed to
I don't know.
introduce.
There's some fun to be had in that too, you know, like leg burns are a story.
Yeah, but you know, she'd never been on a bike before, and Midtown Manhattan, summertime, on the back of a trials bike.
Yeah, probably not the best.
Yeah.
Probably not the best.
I'll tell you, the one bike she didn't mind being on was, she was on the back of I had my buddy's R100. It was like a 1980s R100.
Yeah.
That he sent to me to build a bike for. And she got on the back of that and was totally at ease. I think it was because it was quiet, stable, had like a nice like ass pad to it. And like it didn't.
Comfort is everything, man.
It didn't make noise. You know?
I took my missus on the back of a Goldwing, and she went from hating motorcycles to loving motorbikes.
Yeah, like,
and I was like, "What? It's the same. I'm not even enjoying myself." And she was like, "I'm having a whale of a time back here."
Exactly.
There you go, buddy. We got you a burger. There we go. Look at that. There you go, bud.
Thank you.
Pleasure. It's all you, man.
Damn.
You all right?
Yeah, you wasted your time racing motorcycles.
Yeah, probably true. But I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Is that worth the wait?
That was a tasty burger.
Yeah, man. I've learned over the years, good ones, right?
Yeah, man. Bring it in there.
Yeah, please. Thank you, buddy. Oh, it's a pleasure to cook for you.
After some tasty burgers, it was then a night out in the open and sleep under the stars. Tonight, I'm dreaming about riding my CBR on tomorrow's dusty trails. It feels so great to be back on two wheels and resting next to my machine. The next morning we woke as the sun came up and then packed away quickly. We didn't have much time before this baking desert sun would climb high into the sky, and soon this landscape will be red hot. So we get out of here as soon as we can, top up our bikes, and then go about leaving some dust trails. Soon these long shadows will be a thing of the past, as they get eaten up by the rising sun. So we quickly take off into the middle of nowhere and go in search of that dry lake bed.
Wow, man. I can understand why there is definitely a dry lake bed out here, because it's dry as hell. But
That's not exactly what we're looking for.
nah, you
I mean,
can't
if you
go.
had a Baja truck, maybe.
Yeah, you can't go fast on that.
No,
Nah.
no, it's sketchy on the dirt bike.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely. I've had a few moments on this.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's amazing out here.
yeah.
Wow.
Smell that coolant. It's cooking out here.
Well, with that desert sun beating heavily down on our backs, we did a lap of the lake bed and then rode back into town. As the temperatures outside were now reaching boiling point for both man and machine, we parked our steeds and headed straight for the saloon. While the desert had served up some fun trails and an awesome camping experience, it was now time to head to the bar and end our day chatting about motorcycles while sipping down on some refreshing hops.
Look at the fucking state of that.
At
Interesting.
least there was water in it now.
Oh, my fucking balls. Oh, I got a tank slapper. Oh man, I have bashed my nads proper hard then.